Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're in. Sure glad you could join us. We're for today's webinar. We are the second of our summer series on managing products. 3 weeks ago, we had a really great webinar talking about what metrics should you be tracking and how do you pick the right KPIs. And if you haven't seen that one, that was Brian Oots delivering that one. It is definitely worth a replay. Today, we have a great panel who are going to be talking about managing ideas. Where do they come from and how do you choose? And then in 3 weeks from now, we're going to talk about prioritization, which I know is something that we all want to be able to do better as well. This webinar is brought to you by Sophion. Sophion makes products that help you do a better job at achieving success for all the innovation efforts you do. If you go to Sophion.com and you scroll down, you will find our products. And one I'd like to draw attention to today just is called Acclaim Products. It is all about managing products, and you can try it for free. So head over to Sophion.com. Go down, check out any of the products, but specifically Acclaim products, and give it a try. I think if you manage products as part of your responsibilities, you'll find it helpful. My name is Paul Heller. I'm the chief evangelist of Sophion. I really enjoy what I do because I get to talk about, write about, speak about innovation and help some of our customers understand how they could do a better job at innovation. I also host a weekly podcast. It's called Innovation Talks. If you scan that QR code, you'll be taken to it. And we have guests from a variety of topics: product management, portfolio management, ideation, process, governance, all sorts of aspects. Sustainability is a big topic we have going on. So if any of those are interesting to you, please join me as a listener on Innovation Talks, or even consider being a guest. If you've got something to say, I'd love to have you on. With that, I'd like to introduce three wonderful people who are joining us today with varying experiences in product management. First, I'd like to introduce Tanya Lazarus. Now, Tanya's been with Sophion for 11 years, a little bit over. And, she has a background in software development. She was a coder. She was documentation, did a lot of different things. She joined us in QA, quality assurance. But what's neat about Tanya is, like many of you who are listening on this call, she learned the ropes of product management on the job, right? And kind of figuring it out herself, having a few mentors along the way who could kind of guide her. She figured it out. Our second panelist is Kristen Condon. Kristen joined us about 4 years ago, and different than Tanya, Kristen came in with that background and experience of having done product management, right? So here we are in Sophion, moving along, trying to get better, and Kristen comes in and gives us all sorts of experiences that she brought to us, which is another way you can get better in your organization at product management. Managing products is bringing in people who have done it before. Finally, Greg Kotikia. Greg is our CEO. But what's interesting with Greg, aside from being involved or responsible for over 100 product and solution launches, more relevant to us on this call is he's a founding executive director of the Carnegie Mellon University's master's program in product management. So you may have heard the term heard the expression, he wrote the book. Well, Greg wrote the course in product management. But he's also written a book as well. It's called Start Your Startup Right. So we're really fortunate to have them, and I'm going to stop my sharing and welcome everybody. Panelists, thank you for joining us. If you can't see us all together, grouped together, there is a view option on your screen there in the upper right. And if you pick that view, you can put us in gallery mode. So with that, I'd like to say welcome, Tanya, Greg, and Kristen.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, Paul. Good to be here.
We'd like to start with a question to all of you that are listening. So we have a poll. I think you'll find it enjoyable, enlightening. So let's put that poll up. And really, the question we have for you is, how do you keep track of new ideas? Sticky notes, which is a tried and true method. Notebook, either digital or paper, right? And then another tried and true, well-worn method. Actually having a purpose-built software, product development tool. Spreadsheet, the number one tool in the world for everything. A whiteboard or some other. So we'll let you give you a few minutes to put your votes down, and let's see what we have. Let's see where people go on that. So, and Greg, you're not allowed to vote.
I really wanted to. This is really good.
I've used that sticky note method.
Yeah, I
You
wanted.
end up with a lot of stickies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You use it for your security credentials. I know.
Okay, let's put up the results and see where we came here.
Uh-oh.
All right. So interesting. This is not what I would have expected. I would have expected spreadsheets take the world, but it's good to know that a fair amount, 19 people answered. So not everybody who's on the call had a chance to take an opinion on it, but those of you who did, thank you for that response. We can kind of see how it's sort of spread even with many of them, and see, sticky notes are there. Okay, so thanks for the participation in the poll. We'll have another one in a little bit. I'd like to start by talking about maybe to all three of you, what methods or tools do you use to solicit ideas from different stakeholders? In other words, what are stakeholders? Customers, employees, partners? How do you get those ideas? And is it different when you're talking to internal and external? I'm sure you've all encountered I've got customers waiting, ready to buy. Just put this one little feature in. So I'm going to open up to all three. Let's start with Kristen on this one and get your perspective on it.
Sure. So I have definitely found that you rarely have to look for an idea. People are always willing to share when they find out they have the product manager on the line. But so they come from everywhere, meetings with teams, talking with support, comments from, as an aside, from stakeholders when you're having lunch, customer interviews, any of those things that'll come on from those. Really, it's most challenging actually getting external ideas.